This video will show how to create synchronized presentations in BrightAuthor Connected. One presentation will be leader and other presentations will be follower. Leader presentation will send synchronized commands to follower presentations to playback media files in sync on multiple BrightSign players. Then you can publish leader presentation to one player and follower presentation to the rest players. Each player will be connected to the screen, and this will provide synchronized playback across all screens. Synchronization is supported only on the local network, so make sure to connect all your players to the same network switch. A simple unmanaged network switch is recommended. Also, it's recommended to synchronize BrightSign players that belong to the same model family. So if you have HD models, you then synchronize them only with HD models. While it is possible to create presentations and publish to different to players from different model families, the synchronization may not work as expected in this case. Use the same type of storage in all your players, same read-write speeds. This applies to SD cards and SSD drives. Use the same BrightSign OS version on all players. And regarding content, if you are playing video files, make sure all your videos have same specs, same duration, same codec, same FPS, and so on. And if you are playing images, they must have same dimensions and compression type. Now let's see how to create master presentation or leader presentation. Here you select your player, then output resolution and frame rate. Make sure that these parameters are supported by the screen that is connected to the player. I will add some files to playlist. In some cases, application may not show you the contents inside the folder until you click select button. After you click it, media files will appear at the bottom, and then you can drop them to playlist. Our playlist in leader presentation will start from this image, logo image. Then it will play video, image, video, and then return to the first video. And these three files will play in loop. To connect image to another file, use timeout event. Timeout event will specify how long the image will play on the screen. To connect video to another file, use media and event. Then we have image, so we use timeout. And then video, back to the video, we use media end. It is necessary to add synchronize commands to every event in the playlist. Synchronize keyword can be any string, just make sure that you're using the same string in your follower presentations later. Our playlist is implemented. Final step, go to presentation settings, networking section. Here, if you have two players, one leader and one follower, you can use specific IP address and enter the IP address of your follower player, local IP address that the player received on your network. This can be, for example, 192.168.0.10 or anything else. If you have more than one follower player, two or more players, then you need to send synchronize messages to all players. In this case, use all players on the local subnet or all players connected via Ethernet. I will use second option. You can leave ports default. Player sync feature will, if enabled, it will provide more accurate sync, because synchronization messages will be sent by leader player in the middle of video playback, not only at the top playback. If it's disabled, then the synchronization will happen only at the top of the video. If enabled, it will also happen during the video. I will enable this feature, and I need to select leader because I'm creating leader presentation. The main number is necessary to set if you have multiple groups of synchronized players on the same local network. If you have only one group of synchronized players, you don't have to worry about it, you can use default value. But if you have, for example, several video walls and all your players are connected to the same network, the players may interfere with each other, which may affect the synchronization quality. So make sure to select unique number for each group of synchronized players if you have multiple groups. Next, we save our leader presentation, and then we need to create follower presentation. And this can be done, we can save our leader presentation under a new name. So we will make a copy of this presentation, and I will name it follower screen 2. In follower presentation, we need to delete all these events. because we must use only synchronized events here. And specify keywords that we used in our leader presentation. Next, go to settings and switch player sync to follower in the follower presentation. And final step, we can replace files in the playlist. To do it, click on the file and then use this icon to select another file. I will use a second file, and I also want to replace image. I will keep the first and the last file the same on the follower player, only second and third file will be different. But my second file has the same specs as the first file in the leader presentation. It has same duration, codec, and so on. And this image is also has also same specs, because this is important for synchronization. Once you replace the files, click Save. Follower Screen 2 presentation is saved. And using this method, you can create as many follower presentations as you want. So let's create one more. Screen 3. Replace files. If you want, you can replace these files as well. And once done, click Save. And our second follower presentation is implemented. Once you implement all presentations, you need to publish them to your players. First, publish follower presentations to follower players, and finally publish leader presentation to the last leader player. And the leader player will manage playback, so will control playback on the follower players. After 30 seconds in our example, first synchronized commands will be sent by the leader player, and the follower players will receive this command and start playback of this file, of appropriate file in their playlist at the same time in sync. Then second synchronized command will be sent at the end of the video, and all players will switch to appropriate file, image in this case, in the playlist. And this behavior will repeat. This is very basic example. As you can see, there are many events in the toolbar. You can experiment, and instead of using timeout or media end event, you can use other events from the toolbar For example, you can connect physical buttons to the master player, to the leader player, if it has appropriate interface. You can connect keyboard. You can also control playback from your phone or computer connected to the same local network by sending UDP commands to the master player. For example, instead of starting playback automatically by timeout, you can start it manually when you want by sending UDP command to the master player. We can implement something with UDP, for example. Let's remove this and use UDP event. We must specify UDP input. This will be UDP command that we will send to the leader player. It can be start playback, for example. Again, this can be any string you want. If you enter it, the player will expect to receive this UDP message in order to activate playback. So I will use start playback. Show in the app means you can download BrightSign app from App Store or Google Play Market and install it on your iPhone or Android phone or tablet. And then if your phone is connected to the same local network as the leader player, you can find the player in the app on your phone, and you will see UDP. You will see the button in the app that will send UDP command to the player. So it's very convenient option. You can control playback from the phone, for example, on the BrightSign devices. Remember that you need to use synchronize commands in your leader presentation, because without them synchronization will not work. Because UDP is event, we need to add synchronize command to this event. Previously we used file1, so we can use it again. We can also stop playback by sending another UDP command to the leader player. To do it, we need to add UDP events to all files in this playlist, because we want to stop playback and return to the home image, for example, during playback of any of these files. That is why we need to attach UDP events to all files. Our first command was start playback. In this case we will use stop playback. If you uncheck show in the app, you will not be able to send UDP command from your phone to the player. So this option is optional. You can uncheck if you want. And we need to send synchronize command as well. Let's name it stop. And then repeat the same with other files in the playlist. We can save this modified version of our leader presentation. Let's name it version 2. And then we need to also modify our follower presentations. Follower presentations will be easy to modify. All we need to do is add synchronize events to every file with keyword stop to return to the home state. Again, save it under a new name, version 2. And our second slave, a second follower presentation, we should do the same with it. And save it, version 2. And then again publish follower presentations to follower players and publish publish leader presentation to leader player to apply these changes to the players. So as you can see, there are many possibilities. You can implement different playback logic using these events. And remember that you need to use only synchronized events in your follower presentations, and use synchronized commands in your leader presentation. You need to add synchronized commands to every event in the leader presentation.